On today's Smart 7, luxury car prison pickups annoy Starmer, Putin welcomes world leaders and much more. It's Wednesday 23rd of October, it's National Mole Day, and happy birthday Ryan Reynolds.
The Smart 7. It's news, but
Not the news. Tuesday saw another group of prisoners released early as the prison system continues to struggle with overcrowding. Matters weren't helped by one prisoner being picked up in a white Bentley while shouting "Big up Keir Starmer." That led to the Prime Minister expressing his frustration at the need to free another 1,100 offenders early, but he says that if the releases didn't go ahead, the prison system would face complete paralysis. Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood says the previous government is to blame, and she's announced a review by former Justice Secretary David Gauke.
Nobody could say that prison is working right now, and this sentencing review is designed to make sure that prison does work in the future. At the moment, our prison system creates better criminals rather than better citizens.
Andrea Coomber is the chief executive of the Howard League for Penal Reform, and she told Radio 4 that part of the problem is with the way the prison system is run in the first place.
The reason we have higher reoffending rates is that people go into prison. At the moment, they're in their cells for 22, 23 hours of a day. They don't have the opportunities to retrain, to have education, to have the sort of psychological interventions that they might need or want to be able to move away from crime.
Tuesday saw the Russian President Vladimir Putin welcome 36 world leaders to a three-day meeting in Kazan as part of the BRICS group. Leaders attending included China's Xi Jinping and South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, but Brazilian President Lula cancelled at the last minute. There was controversy too over the planned attendance of UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres, but he intends to raise the issue of Russia's war on Ukraine. That topic also come up in discussions between Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who called for a resolution to the ongoing invasion.
We believe that the problems should be resolved in a peaceful manner. We fully support the early establishment of peace and stability. All our efforts give priority to humanity. India is ready to provide all possible cooperation in the times to come.
While Putin welcomes leaders, events are escalating in Ukraine as it becomes clear North Korea is now becoming increasingly involved as a Russian ally. That triggered a response from South Korea, who offered to begin supplying aid and weapons to Ukraine. UK Defence Minister John Healey was warning the situation is increasingly volatile.
It is now highly likely that the transfer of hundreds of combat troops from North Korea to Russia has begun. It is as shocking as it is desperate.
US Secretary of State Anthony Blinken was back in the Middle East on Tuesday as he continued to try and nudge Israel towards a path to peace and the ending of hostilities. He met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, but there was no significant progress as Netanyahu says there needs to be a security and political change in Lebanon before Israel withdraws any troops. There were also fresh IDF strikes on Beirut, hitting near the main government hospital, which killed at least 18 people, including 4 children, while more than 60 were injured. Israeli protesters on the streets outside Anthony Blinken's hotel were calling for a deal to bring the hostages home, and former Israeli Justice Minister Yossi Beilin says all sides have had enough.
It is really time to end this war. We are all paying a very high price. We are all victims, and again, we are competing with each other who is the bigger victim.
The Employment Rights Bill is moving to a second reading after a Commons vote saw it approved by 386 to 105 votes. The bill promises reforms to low pay and poor working conditions, but the government's own estimation of the potential cost is eye-wateringly high. According to the Department of Business and Trade, the reforms could cost up to £5 billion per year if they were all enacted. It's also predicting an increase in the number of disputes over workers' rights rising by 15%. Unions have been praising the bill as life-changing for workers, but Tory Shadow Business Secretary Kevin Hollenrake doesn't sound convinced.
So small businesses, we have real concern, but the biggest concern we have, new powers of trade unions who have not seen since the 1970s. It was not a good place to be in the UK, and this is the powers they are getting.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, wins for Arsenal and Aston Villa in Europe, and Steve Martin introduces the fun ship right after this. Welcome back. 3, Tuesday night saw more Champions League action in the third night of the new league format. After the first two games, Aston Villa had a maximum 6 points after 2 wins, while Arsenal had 4 after a win and a draw. Tuesday saw Arsenal at home to Ukrainian side Shakhtar Donetsk, but they really struggled to get the 3 points. It ended 1-0 to Arsenal, but an injury to Riccardo Calafiori means he will miss Sunday's game against Liverpool. Aston Villa were at home to Italian side Bologna, and they made it look easy, finishing 2-0 winners and now top the Champions League table. Manager Unai Emery was very happy to see the progress his team is making.
The team is progressing, being mature in everything. And of course, we show it today. And we had to try to be consistent in our game plan in 90 minutes. And I think we did today fantastic, playing really brilliant, being serious.
Steve Martin and Martin Short have been together as actors for more years than they care to remember, on projects including Three Amigos way back in 1986. Recently, they've been enjoying more success than ever, with Only Murders in the Building, which has just been renewed for a 5th season. Martin Short has found himself in the tabloids too, as rumours spread about a relationship with Murders co-star Meryl Streep. Short and Martin, or Martin and Steve, whichever you prefer, popped up on Seth Meyers' show to chat about their long-running relationship.
I don't think of it as a friendship. I think of it as a funship. A friendship is, when you call them up and say, you seemed a little down today. Can I come over and maybe want to talk about it? Is there any way I can help? A funship is, you seemed a little down today. Would you call me back when you feel better? Because I can't stand it.
If you haven't seen Bad Sisters, which is quite possible as it's on Apple TV+, then you need to make plans to watch it immediately. Season 1 of the show, which is written by and stars Sharon Horgan, picked up a BAFTA as Best Drama Series, plus a bunch of Emmy nominations. It focuses on the Garvey sisters and their unfortunate habit of being associated with dead bodies, which seems to recur in Season 2. There are new additions to the cast, including Fiona Shaw, and it's great entertainment, dark and funny, and set in Dublin. Season 2 drops on November 15th.
After everything that happened, things are finally looking up.
Bryce and Ian!
Did you ever think about what we did?
I killed my husband. We are all involved in this.
We covered up a murder.
The world's better off without her. Even the Pope would say that.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes and we'll give you the world.
Be ready no matter what the temperature with Crop Metcalf's $99 heating and cooling system check. Call 1-800-GO-CROP or visit cropmetcalf.com.
Crop Metcalf is the one with 5 stars.
Crop Metcalf, home of the 5-star technician.